In this video, I'm going to show you how to trim your dog's ears so they won't be uneven. I'm also going to show you how I trim the ears on, say, a Schnauzer. This is a very tricky ear to trim. I'm going to show you how to trim the paws around the feet, and I'm going to show you how to shorten the length of your dog's tail. All in one video. Thank you for joining me. I am certified professional pet groomer Amy Lee, and it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. Let's get started. Believe it or not, there is a very simple way for you to trim your dog's ears so that they are very even and they look great, and it is not hard, and there's a secret, and I'm about to share that with you right now. So we want Snickers looking straight. I'm going to put a little notch right here. Feel where the ear leather is. His ear leather is right here. That's the end of his ear. He's got very long ears, so this will be a great demo. I'm going to put a notch right there where I want to cut it, the length. I'm going to have him looking straight, comb the hair down. You always got to use your comb. I'm going to come straight across. You don't want to move in his ears. I'm going to put another little notch in right there. And that tells me now they're going to be even. So now we're going to turn Snickers sideways. Good boy, honey. We're going to have him looking straight, not up and not down, straight. And I'm going to hold my scissor where I want it. I'm going to come in here and slowly and gently, see, I'm holding him still. You have to be holding your dog. And there's that ear. Now we're going to come over to the other side. Good job, big boy. So here's our notch. I'm going to come back here. It's hard to do on camera. And I'm going to connect to that line. Now it was very important that we felt where his ear leather was first. I'm going to show you again. His ear leather is right here. This is the end of his ear leather, so it's important to know that. And now we have just created two ears, identical length. And now what I will do is I'll look at him a little bit from underneath here. I'll come in and touch this up. See, I have my hand on his head. You've got to have your dog holding still. Now I'm going to take a thinning shear. This is optional. And I'm going to tidy up the ends. See how I pull it down and I'm blending off. I'm not thinning, I'm blending off the ends so it looks natural. Good job, bud. And the same thing over here. I'm going to show you how we're going to trim the length on his tail here in 1 second. So stay tuned for that. Stay put, my friends. Good job, Snickers. He says he's glad to help. Yes, he is. Okay, so there's the ears, guys. So cute this guy is. To trim the ear on a miniature Schnauzer, I hold the ear leather between my middle finger and my thumb and use just the tip of my shear, and I just keep moving that like that so that I know exactly where that ear leather is, and I am being extremely precise because I'm only using the tip of my shear. And this is the best way to trim the ear leather on a Schnauzer, which is a clean ear. And sometimes we do a clean ear on a poodle, so you could do that as well. But this is how it's done. If you're interested in knowing how I groom Miss Maddie, I have a wonderful full Schnauzer groom on my channel. I will link it in the card above, and you feel free to go watch it because it's a good one. Right, Maddie? I'm a superstar. His ear length is a bit uneven. So the first thing I want to do is I want to have him looking straight. I want to mark right in the front where I want that length to be set so they're the same. So I marked it here. I'm coming straight over and I'm going to mark this here. Now I know that that's where I want the ear length to be. So I'm going to take him and stand him sideways. Good job. I want him looking forward and straight, not up. Forward and straight. I'm going to comb this down gently. And I'm going to connect that line. And they're a little bit uneven back here. We're going to let that fill in. Okay, honey. Now I'm going to take my blending shears. You don't have to do this step. I'm going to hold this straight and I'm just going to fine tune the edge of this so it just looks so natural. And that's it. What's left of this ear to shape, we've already removed what we needed to remove back here at the base by holding the ear up, and we've already removed what we needed here at the front. So now when we comb the ear down, this is the shape. This is the rest of the ear that we are just trying to shape. I'm using a blender, holding it straight right on the line that I set. You really don't want to be picking your ear up much at this point because you will change your lines. You don't want to do that. You want the dog to let the ear hang, and you want the dog to look straight. And I'm just holding him here like this, that's all, so that I can scissor this nice and straight. You could use a straight shear here. I'm using a blender. I'm just trying to make that look nicer. It was very uneven. Good job. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm looking to just even up right to that line, that little notch that I made. It's okay. And see, I have a hold of him right in front of his chinny chin chin. I need him to be still. If I wasn't holding him, he would be freely moving himself about, and then I can't get a nice straight look on this ear. So right now I'm holding his cheek, just holding him so he stays still, and I need him looking straight. And we're just tidying that up. Right at the line. So good, buddy. So proud of you. I just love working with him. He's wonderful. He's so loving too. I don't know why they ended up being able to rescue him, why he was at a rescue, but he was. He certainly doesn't seem to have been mistreated, I'll say that. So I think he had a pretty good life wherever he came from. He's a good boy. Always use your comb, guys. Your comb is going to pull hair straight down, stuff that may be hanging in the rest of the coat. And when he shakes his head when he's done, hair will pop out that's uneven, and you'll say, where did that come from? I know, you guys know what I'm talking about, and that's where using your comb will prevent that. You comb down a lot, and it will prevent you from constantly seeing areas that you need to even up, because it's pulling the hair down nicely. So his ears are even. Let's take a nice 360 look at him. Now stick around, because I'm getting ready to show you how to trim tails, how to trim feet, and clean all those areas up. These are areas that you're all struggling with. You've been sharing those thoughts with me, and I am going to help you trim those feet and those tails. So let's get to it. Okay, so for Snicker's tail, you can see it's dragging the ground. I need him standing up. So you want to run your thumb down and feel where the tailbone ends. His tailbone's here. We've got plenty to play with. So I at least don't want it dragging the ground. So I'm going to run my thumb down the tailbone. I'm going to take about that much off. just take it off, just like that. Take a look here. It looks good. Now what I can do is hold it up, and now I can thin. Now I'm thinning. You wouldn't have to do this. And just tidy it up. Brush that out so it doesn't become a mat. And we've just thinned and shortened Snickers' tail and his ears. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with a tail like Snuggles here. Snuggles is a mixed breed, a Lhasa Shih Tzu, we're pretty sure. And she is definitely unable to grow a full fluffy tail. We haven't trimmed this tail in about 2 years. And this is all we get, is just a sparse look, you know, and Mom's like, you know, I don't really like that. We tried to go with a full tail. She wanted that, and it's just not possible. We're just gonna scissor trim Snuggles' tail to just look more natural. What I'm gonna do, kind of part the hair on both sides of the tail. Gonna comb it down and hold the tail straight out. My thumb is protecting the very end of her tailbone. I'm gonna hold it out, and I'm just gonna scissor a more natural shape. We're gonna take a look at that. I'm gonna run my finger down to the tip. I'm gonna scissor this, shape it more like a natural shape. Now let's take a look. So now it's looking a little better. Hold it straight out, not up, straight out. Now I'm gonna take my thinning shears and I'm going to touch it up. Work with it best we can. But this is what we're gonna do for Snuggles and try this look. And this is something that you may find at home that you may be needing to do with your dog, especially if it's possibly a terrier mix. Often they just have this little bit of wiry coat that is not going to grow a tail like, say, a Shih Tzu could. So this is what we did. We chose to just scissor shape Snuggles' tail. And you just play around with it, thin it, scissor it until you get it to the shape you like. I always hold the tail with my thumb and finger so that I feel where her tailbone is, and I want to stay away from that. Even up in here, I can feel her tailbone. That is what we're gonna go with for Snuggles' new tail look, and we will see what Mom thinks of it. Now let's talk about the matted tail. This is one that a lot of you may be familiar with. This gets away from you. This is matted, and it can be dematted, but not everybody is comfortable and confident enough to demat a tail. So let's take it off. Let's make it a natural tail. The dog is going to be much more comfortable if we just get rid of all this bulky matted hair. Trust me, he doesn't like carrying that around on his tail. And it also causes the skin to get a little bit irritated and dry and flaky, and you know, you've probably seen this on your dog, especially a heavy coated dog. You know, this is something that can happen. So taking it off and giving your dog a good bath afterwards is the best way to cure the matted tail, unless you're able to demat it. I have other videos on my channel that can show you how to demat a tail. But in this case, for Solly, we took it off. Now we're gonna scissor around the foot. And when I scissor around the foot, I basically am taking off everything that the dog is going to stand on. I am trimming around the pads, and you wanna trim around the pads in a complete circle. See how my scissor is not going across the pad? That's very important. And I also want to point out that I am using just the tip of my shear right now. That's important, guys, that you don't have to always use the meat of your shear. I often am just using about the last quarter of my shear, you know, as far as the length of the shank of the shear, and that gives me more control of my scissoring. And you want to comb up and scissor down. And you'll do this several times while you're scissoring the leg of your dog or any area that you're scissoring. You'll comb up and scissor down. When you comb up, it pulls everything out that is obstructing the shape of the leg or whatever it is that you're scissoring. Now let's scissor a fuzzy foot. You know those Grinch feet? All that hair in the pads, all that hair on top of the foot. golden retrievers, basically you just brush up and it pulls the hair right out from between the toes, and you scissor it flush with the length of the hair on the leg, whether you've shaved that or not. Now we need to clean out those pads. Obviously you're going to clean all the way around the perimeter of the pad first, because the dog minds having their main pad shaved the most. So in that V shape there, we're going to save that for last. We're just shaving around the perimeter of the foot, and then we're going to go in there for the pad, the V shape there, and clean that out. That's where dogs can actually collect a lot of mats, and it would be literally like walking on a rock if they had a mat inside of the pad of their foot. So it's important to keep that cleaned out. It really is, and your dog will thank you for it. Now, I saved the best for last. I know this is the area that you guys really stress over. That back knuckle there, we're all afraid of nicking, and it is easy to nick when you're trimming a dog, especially if you give him a short haircut and you need to scissor around this. I like to go sideways with my scissors around that knuckle just to protect it and have more control over my scissor action and my shears when I'm trimming around there, because yes, you could certainly nick that. You can nick the pads, you can nick anything that, you know, when it comes to the foot. It is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry, so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because together we are going to increase the bond you share with your pet and add even more value to their lives.